Every night at midnight, time stands still inside this haunted morgue. And no one knows why. As the clock's hands approach midnight, the dimly lit hallways of the morgue come to life in the most terrifying way. The air grows thick, shadows creep along the cracked walls, and an eerie silence takes over. Then, with an almost deafening final tick, the clock strikes 12, and everything stops. No wind, no sound, no motion. Just an overwhelming sense that something beyond human understanding is unfolding. What happens next? That's a question no one has dared to answer. Yet, the air is heavy with a damp chill, clinging to every surface like an unwelcome presence. Faint, echoing footsteps seem to follow you through the hallways, yet the place is deserted. Locals say there's something deeply wrong with this morgue, something so sinister they refuse to speak its name. "I've been told that time stops here at midnight," I whisper, my voice barely breaking the oppressive silence. "And tonight, I'm going to show you why." The old clock on the wall ticks faintly, each second stretching longer than the last, as if the air itself is resisting the passage of time. But what happens just before the clock strikes 12? That's when everything changes, when something unexplainable and terrifying reveals itself. This morgue wasn't always a place of fear. Once, it was a bustling medical facility where lives were saved and stories were written. But everything changed after a string of unexplained disappearances. Patients would simply vanish without a trace, and employees, gripped by an overwhelming sense of dread, began to leave. Many claimed to hear faint whispers coming from the walls, as if the building itself were alive. One night, a security guard reported hearing something horrifying, chains dragging across the cold, tiled floors, followed by slow, deliberate footsteps echoing through the empty halls. When he turned around, there was no one there. The guard quit that same night, swearing never to return. And then, there's the story of the doctor. Years ago, he was found slumped over his desk, his face frozen in terror. His watch had stopped, the hands fixed at exactly midnight. No one knows why these things happen, but one thing is certain. Time in this morgue doesn't behave the way it should. It's as if the very fabric of reality is trapped within its walls, leaving behind a mystery no one has been able to solve. The moment I step inside the morgue, a chill runs down my spine. The walls are cracked, peeling away like the skin of something long dead. The air is thick and stagnant, heavy with the smell of decay that seems to cling to everything. The temperature drops without warning, and I feel it, like an icy hand brushing against my skin. Faint whispers flicker through the air, but there's no one here. Are they coming from the walls, or is something else listening to me? As I move further in, I come across the freezer room. The door is slightly ajar, as if it hasn't been closed properly in years. Inside, it's cold, unnaturally cold. This room, once a place to store bodies, feels wrong. I can't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was left here far too long. A small journal catches my eye, lying on a dusty shelf. I carefully flip through the yellowed, brittle pages, each one filled with the scrawled handwriting of a nurse who worked here before the place was abandoned. Her final entry sends a shiver through me. I hear footsteps after midnight. No one else is here. I think I'm being watched. I press on, my heart pounding, drawn to the autopsy room at the end of the hallway. The light flickers erratically above me, casting shadows that seem to move on their own. The temperature drops even further, so cold it feels like the breath of death itself. I hear a rustling sound from across the room, like someone shuffling their feet. But when I turn, there's nothing there. Then, the clock catches my eye. It's on the wall, ticking loudly in the silence. But the second hand never moves past 11:59 p.m. Is it broken? Or is something else keeping time from moving forward? With each new clue, the tension builds. Every flicker of light, every sudden drop in temperature, every shadow that moves where there should be none. It all feels like a warning. Something is very wrong in this place, and it's only getting worse. I stand in the central room of the morgue, my eyes fixed on the clock. The seconds stretch endlessly, each tick louder than the last as the air thickens around me. Then, it happens. The clock strikes midnight. For a moment, everything stops. Time itself seems to freeze. The oppressive silence fills the room, so thick it feels like I'm suffocating. The stillness is suffocating, as if the very essence of time is held hostage in this forsaken place. And then, the air shifts. From the doorway, a figure slowly materializes. A shadowy silhouette, its form too blurred to make out clearly. It's moving, deliberate and slow, as though it's calculating each step, each movement. I freeze, my heart racing. I've seen this figure before, in the stories. The same one the staff reported seeing before they disappeared. But this isn't just a ghost. It's something far more sinister. Something that bends time itself. It controls the very fabric of reality in this place. I thought I was safe. But as the clock struck midnight, everything changed. The doors to the room slam shut with a deafening bang, trapping me inside. Panic floods through me as I feel the pressure of time bending, twisting around me. The whispers, once faint, grow louder, and then they start calling my name. I can't move. I can't breathe. The whispers are deafening, and with every passing second, the room feels smaller, the walls closer. I feel as though I'm caught in a loop, a time warp, where nothing ever changes and no one ever escapes. The clock is still ticking, but I'm not sure if it will ever strike another hour. Time feels broken here, as if it's been caught in a never-ending cycle, forever trapped within the walls of this haunted morgue. But what is it that traps time here at midnight? Is it a curse? A ghost seeking revenge? Or something much older and far more dangerous? We may never know. The truth is hidden in the shadows, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover it. Do you think this morgue is truly haunted? Or is something far darker at play? Something that no one can fully understand? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you want to dive deeper into more chilling stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. You won't want to miss what's coming next. The mysteries are just beginning.